Basically, I'm here to talk about what type of investment you can make with this particular situation. Now, from before, we talked about Wilberforce College, Wilberforce University, and primarily we want to establish how strong the university was basically happening. And the reason that we're doing that is because your return is going to be coming from Wilberforce University. So when I'm looking at an investment, I look at a couple of things. I look at the amount of the return, obviously, which is what most people do. You know, you have to get the amount that you're going to get in there. But I also need to know the likelihood that I'm going to actually get that return on that particular investment. So the presentation about the university that we're investing in, now think about it, 160 years old. Does that sound like something that's going to fold next year? I mean, that's quite a while there. I'm sure that some of you watching probably might have been back there around then, I don't know, but not me, okay? At the same time, we're talking a situation where we have growth and expansion activities happening within that university itself too. So those things pretty much give you the fact that they're gonna be the strength of that. And on top of that, the university is guaranteed by the corporate itself, which has other assets, other income. So even if for some strange reason the university had issues, it's still guaranteed, the return is still guaranteed, the rents are still guaranteed. Now the structure of the transaction is in the form of a lease sale back, which they've talked about basically. The college sells the property and they lease it back, okay? Right now we have negotiated a 30-year lease back term. Now that does a couple of things for us, okay? If we have a 30-year term, that means that we can amortize that loan over 30 years, which decreases the monthly payment, which now increases the return. The rents that they're looking at right now in year one is roughly about $700,000. With a 30-year amortization at today's interest rates, we're looking at roughly a little over $300,000 in annual debt service. Because it is a absolute triple net lease, the only thing that we pay is the mortgage loan. We do not pay taxes, we do not pay insurance, we do not pay repairs and maintenance. If anything goes wrong with that property, the structure or whatever, that is on the tenant, Wilberforce University. So our return now can be easily calculated. The only thing we take out from the $700,000 rent that comes in annually is the annual debt service of about $300 or something. The rest is pure profit. This is how we can get that type of return. Now we're talking about a 10% return year one. But because the rent has built in the negotiation an annual increase of 2%, that means that every year that rent increases from the original $700,000 and goes up 2%. The following year, another 2%. The following year, another 2%. Okay? As a result, the annual debt service is fixed for the first 5 years. So all we're doing, again, is increasing our return, straight up. Now, how many people? Let's pick a little bank. B of A. Okay. How many people got money in B of A? Let's pick another little bank. Wells Fargo. That's a little one. How many people got money in Wells Fargo? What do you think the return on the savings account is on those particular banks? As of yesterday, the return at Wells Fargo and B of A is 0.01%. That's right, 0.01%. Now let's put that in numbers. If you put $100,000 into that savings account and just left it there for a year, did nothing, did not take it out at all, just let it earn interest, at the end of the year, you would have earned $10. $10 on $100,000. $300,000, you would have earned $30. That's what the banks are doing at this particular time. If you search, which I did, I searched pretty much all over the place for all type of banks, all type of different accounts, IRA accounts, money market accounts. The highest return I found today, 2 2.35%. And that wasn't in a lot of places, and you really, really got to search to even find that. 2.35%. First year with this investment, 10%. At the highest you can put it anywhere else, you still over 4 times the amount. Anywhere you find it. IRAs, 401ks, or whatever, basically. So the return, obviously, is going to be there. So now if the return is not an issue, because you're making at least 4 to 100 times what you'd be making if it's sitting in a bank or whatnot, and the stability, the ability that they're going to pay, okay, the fact that the college has been there 100 years, the fact that it's corporate guarantee, the fact that it's secured by real estate, all these things come into play to secure that investment. If you have those 2 things in place, what would you need to not invest in something like this? It wouldn't make sense. I wouldn't want to leave my money at a secure bank like Wells Fargo and make $30 a year for no particular reason. Now let's think about this. The banks. What do you think they do with the $100,000 or $300,000 that you have, or $10, or whatever you have in that bank? If they're paying you 0.01%, what are they doing? They're not waiting for you to come and get the money out. They would actually lose. They would lose 0.01%, which is not going to happen anyway because they charge you fees. But they take that money and they invest in projects just like we're doing right now. Now, we have the option. We can go to Wells Fargo, BofA, or whoever, put our money in there. They invest in the projects that we're talking about now. They pay us 0.01% and they earn the 10%, the 12%, the 15%, or whatever they have basically. Or we can join in here and take it directly to the project ourselves and earn that 10%. Which one sounds more logical? I mean, that's a no-brainer basically. So this is what we're offering in this particular situation. And the reason this works is basically we now have the ability to put together and reach for these higher end investments. A lot of times we say, okay, well, let's go do it individually. How many people can come up with $7 million and buy Wilberforce? Maybe some of you can, maybe a lot of you can. But if you can't, we can put a few people together. Okay, we can structure this transaction and we can go in, we can get that same return by just simply coming together. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. Our company basically does the research for you. We at LTB Investments, we locate the properties. We structure the properties in order to get the higher return, because they don't come on the market the way that we end up going to. We actually structure the return itself in order to get those high yield returns for you. We research those particular properties. That way we know that they're stable. That way we know that you're going to actually get the money. It's not going to fall out. And we put those transactions together and we bring them to you. All we need on your end is to participate in the investment and become owners of that particular situation. And that helps. Now, next thing, where do you get the money? Some people can write a check. No doubt about it. $300,000, $500,000, no doubt about it. A lot of regular people have money that they don't think about. A lot of regular people work a 9-to-5 job. Okay? As a result of that 9-to-5 position, in most cases, if you've been there for a while, you have some type of retirement program. You have a 401k possibly that you set up. You have a 403b, 457, and all of these particular things are set up retirement plans. Some people have their own individual retirement accounts that they put money in. And the reason they have these accounts is so that they don't think about it. They put money in there over years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, a lot of people in their 30 years. As a result of putting money into these particular retirement accounts for your retirement, because you put money in there and you make it difficult to touch, primarily because when you get ready to retire, you want to have some money there. If that money's in your checking account, it's gone before the week's out, guaranteed. But you set it over there. Now you're looking at $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 sitting in these accounts. A lot of people are now ready to retire. And as a result of that retirement, you have to move that money a lot of times when you leave the company. So they know about a rollover, or they've been presented with a rollover where they have that option. Instead of taking that money out and having your partner, Uncle Sam, get his share, okay, and if you're underage, you're going to have that 10% penalty on there if you're under 59 and a half. Plus, you got to pay taxes on the part that you never paid taxes on in the first place, and that eats up your return. So a lot of people will roll that money over into another account. If you got a 401k, they may roll that over into an IRA, basically. But when you roll that money over into an IRA, your taxes are deferred. You don't pay taxes right then, but the same situation. You're still making that 1% maybe on your money, while the IRA money is being invested who knows where. Now, how many people have heard of a self-directed IRA? Maybe some of you have, but I guarantee you most of you have not. But they're out there. The only difference in a self-directed IRA and a traditional IRA is that you get to point to where you want the money invested. In a traditional IRA, they invest it. Now, sometimes you get a choice of, depending on how aggressive you are, okay, I want to invest my money in stocks, I want to invest my money in whatever, but you don't pick the individual investment. With a self-directed IRA, you can roll that money into that self-directed IRA, defer the taxes, and point to one of our high yield investments without worrying about paying taxes at that particular point. Now, once that money is in our investment and we are distributing, you have an option. You can say, okay, I want the money to come to me. And the money that's distributed to you on a monthly basis at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you pay taxes on the money that you received only. Okay? Not in general. The bulk of it's there. It would be the same thing as what you do, I'm sure you do, you go to those IRAs or whatnot and you take out a distribution because you had an emergency. You had a flat tire, so you want a new car. So you take the money out, basically. And you pay money only on the money you took out. It's the same thing, basically. Or, the other option, you can have that money rolled right back into the IRA, where it came from. And again, you pay no taxes. Now, that's a choice. A lot of people don't have that choice. Okay? So this type of investment gives you that opportunity to move that money from that 1% IRA or from that 0.1% bank account into an investment that year one pays 10% and increases from there. And you can roll it back into the IRA on the distribution, or you can take the money out and go buy a yacht, whatever works for you. So you do have that option. And I would say the majority of the people who figure, well, I don't have $100,000, $200,000, I guarantee a lot of those people do. They're just in spots that you don't think about, which is a good thing. Another spot you'll find funds to invest in something like this is in your own properties. Now, I'm not recommending that you take money from the house that you live in. That's a call, your own. But I usually say protect your home, your principal residence, and make your investments on another level. A lot of you have properties that you've owned since birth. 2 unit, 4 units, 8 units, or whatever. A lot of these properties are paid for. I know, I've got a lot of clients that I deal with, and those properties are paid for. And they collect rents. They have no mortgage on there, so their rents are normally lower than they need to be, simply because they have no need to increase the rents. They look at the fact that I've got a good tenant, they've been there 25 years, so we let them pay $500 a month. I know the market is $1,500, but they're good tenants, I know them, they're paying $500, and I don't have a mortgage on it anyway, so what's the big deal? Let them stay there, collect my $500, and in the process, you're not thinking about, oh yeah, I did pay a few $100s out because we had to send an electrician over there, to send a plumber over there. Oh yeah, it needs a little painting, every now and then you got to, and forbid having Section 8. I'm not talking about, well, I guess I am talking about Section 8. Forbid having Section 8, because believe me, I don't care if that property is perfect. When that annual inspection comes, you're going to have to do something. I've experienced it. They come out there. I thought Section 8 to make the property habitable. You got to paint the trim. What the devil does the trim have to do with anything? But we got to do something. We got to get you to spend some money. So by the time you spend all of that money, That $500 that you thought you were just pocketing, you're not pocketing. And then on top of that, if you have any left that you thought you had left, file your income taxes and let your partner get his share. Because keep in mind that now you have no mortgage interest write-off, you have no depreciation because the property's been there too long, basically. So the little $200 that you thought you were keeping, Uncle Sam say, give me my little part. And when he takes that out, you might have $75 out of that $500 that you thought you was collecting. Now, this is going on. Plus, you have to realize you also have the responsibility and the headaches of dealing with this property. Okay, you still have to at least call the electrician if you don't want to go over there yourself and try to fix the whatever. Call the plumber or go down, buy you some duct tape and patch it up or whatever you want to do on that particular end. But all these things you still have to do. We can take that investment, and I'll sit down with anybody in a one-on-one situation and look at your particular investment and what you're working with. Roll that equity over using a 1031 tax deferred exchange, which is kind of like the rollover in an IRA, defers your taxes. Increase the amount that you receive as a result of the high yield investment. Increase the amount that you keep as a result of the flow-through tax benefits from the property, the mortgage and the depreciation. All of those things at the same time. So now we're increasing the amount that you receive, increasing the amount that you're going to keep, and eliminating any headaches of having to deal with the plumbers, the electricians, the late night phone calls from the tenants and all that stuff. All three of those things come into play simply by moving this investment. And it's there. If you think about it, a lot of times you're living day to day. But I got these 4 units. They're in a rough area. Okay, a 4-unit in a rough area can at least cost you $500,000–$600,000. I don't care where it is, unless it doesn't make any difference. It's going to be difficult to find anything under that. And if it's paid for, that's $500,000 worth of equity that can be moved. A 4-unit in a decent area is closer to $1 million. Okay, 1.2. A lot of people bought those properties way back, and they only owe maybe $60,000 on them. Look at the equity that's sitting there while you're collecting those rents and going through the headache. That can be moved, okay? It's not even just this one project. We constantly get up every day, my staff and myself, and this is what we do. We look through the country for projects that we can now structure to give the returns that we need so that we don't have to settle for 0.01% unless we just want to. There's absolutely no reason to keep doing that, basically. We have everything right here at our disposal to make your returns move up to a level. Now let's think about the returns again a little bit more. 10% in most cases. Now there are some projects that we work on that may not be exactly 10. I don't think we have a project at all that's less than 8%. At the 2.35 that you shop all over the country to find, 8% is still a strong return. That's on some of the properties. It depends on the situation. But that 8 to 10% return is just year one. We always build in our annual increases. And if we build in those annual increases at 10%, by the end of 5 years, it's going to move up to roughly about 13% with that 2% annual increase. That fluctuates depending on a particular investment. And this Wilberforce investment, that's the numbers that you're going to see. And in addition to all of that, at the end of the 5-year holding period, we sell the property. In Wilberforce's case, they have an option to purchase that property. We know what the price is going to be because we have a built-in 2% appreciation rate. So we know that if Wilberforce buys this property in 5 years, what the price is going to be. It's already there. Now, okay, you say, okay, well, that's fine and dandy, but what about me? Well, me, the investor, get a percentage of the sales proceeds at the end of the 5-year holding period. So now let's think about it. What's the benefits of this investment? It's secure. Corporate guarantor, real estate, college that's been in business for 160 years, it's secure. Okay, what's the other benefits? We start off at a 10% return, where the banks are paying 0.01%. That's a pretty good benefit. What's another benefit? Annual 2% increases. So now that I start off at 10%, it's increasing every year. Okay? What's another benefit? Monthly distributions. Now you say, why is that such a benefit? The money's the same. No, I don't think so. If I give you $100 and tell you to go buy some bread, how much bread could you buy? Whatever it is, if you take that same $100 5 years from now, you won't be able to buy the same amount of bread. So even though it looks like it's the same, it's $100 here, but the fact that you're receiving it early is a plus. If you factor in the fact that money is going to buy less down the road. I mean, think about it. I can remember when I used to buy cookies for 2 cents. And I was having difficult finding, getting that 2 cents. But when I found me a bottle or something, I can go get that 2 cent and buy me a cookie, sometimes 2. Just depending on if the store manager liked me or not. But you did sometimes. I got a couple. Because I pretend I couldn't count. I'll just take these candies, boy. Okay. So, I can't do that now. I cannot do that now. Do you know that you can buy nothing under 25 cents? I know. I know. You can't go to the store and buy anything. When I go to the store right now, if I spend less than $100 on just 2 bags of stuff and pay the extra 10 cents for the bag, I'm broke. That's all there is to it. And I come home with nothing. I'm like, where did it all go? So times change. So as a result of that, the fact that you're receiving money early is a plus. That's a plus. You can either take that money and spend it early, or put it into another investment and let it grow some more over there if you want to, or stick them to your mattress or whatever you want to do. But the fact that you get it early is a plus. We have that because we have monthly distributions, not a CD that sits to the bank for 5 years and then you come back and get the 0.1 to $10 that you earn. That's not what's happening here, basically. You have that money in your hands early. That's another benefit. And another benefit is that you're going to participate in the sales proceeds once we pass the 5-year holding period, put it back onto the market, and then everybody now joins. All we're doing basically is putting people together, and as a result of that unity, we can now go after the larger investment, which pays the higher returns, and everybody wins. The colleges win. In this particular case, because we're buying a particular college, they need the money for expansion, which is an excellent thing that helps us and the college and the young minds. Okay, so there's actually a humanitarian behind this. If you look at that also, we're helping that situation. We're building this particular situation. All of these things pretty much come into play. At this particular point, I ask you, what reason do you have not to take advantage of this investment opportunity? Think about that. If in fact you cannot come up with a good reason, then we encourage you to contact us at LTB Investments. You can contact us at area code 626-331-3331. One of our professional staff will answer the phone. If they give you any hassle, make sure you tell me and they'll be fired even before they hang the phone up. But they won't. We have professional staff. We'll get that to you. We'll arrange some type of meeting. If you're not local, then we can arrange meetings over the phone or whatever it takes to put it down. And if you have any questions, then we can pretty much handle those particular questions. We'll take your particular financial situation. If you, in fact, want to invest, don't let your financial situation stop you. Sit down with us. We'll talk to you, see what type of situation you have. If we can't make it in this investment, put you into another investment. The key is we need to get out of that 0.01% in the bank. And believe me, you do not make that. Because if you're getting 0.01%, they are probably charging you monthly bank fees as a result, which absorbs that anyway. And don't mess around and have an overdrawn account. You're in real trouble then. It's going to take you 8 years to catch up on the fee that they charge you there. So the key is let's move to another level. Let's move to the level that the banks are doing. Let's join together and make this happen. Again, if you cannot find a reason to not invest, and the opportunities that we have, then we welcome you to give us a call, LTV Investment, 626-331-3331. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Oh.